So what is going on, guys? This is Ryan here.
And this is other Ryan here.
Hey everyone, Razbowski here.
What's going on, guys? Dorko here.
And welcome back, guys, to once again another episode of Theory Thursday. And this is going to potentially be the last one discussing the end teaser, or really we're not really discussing it at all, it's more the source code, because there is a section talking about Chica's party world. So this could mean a multitude of things, but it's actually quite interesting, and we all have some separate opinions as to what this could mean. So we're going to jump straight into that right now. So yes, guys, we did look at the top portion of the source code where we can kind of make like a schedule diagram from it. However, there is a few sections underneath. We did look at the Afton Robotics portion, but there's another bit which says Client Directory 001 Chica's Party World, and a few brackets going more in depth into what that might mean, along with another client directory, and there's also a third one as well. So we're going to talk about what each of these mean to us particularly.
So I personally believe that the whole Chica's Party World birthday accessories and novelties, I think that this is discussing some kind of theme. I think there's certain themes that you can select if you're booking a party. For example, maybe you want certain animatronics at your party, you want a certain theme at the party, and a certain novelties, accessories, party hats, stuff like that, which kind of explains the FNAF 3 minigames, which we're going into later. But that's what I believe anyway. I think that it's like just theme for a party, maybe something like that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. I just think it's very, very interesting that Scott has chosen to put Chica in here instead of Ballora, Baby, Funtime Foxy, or Funtime Freddy. We've obviously seen these characters already, so I think it's very significant that it is actually Chica and none of the rest of them. Again, this will probably link back to the Five Nights at Freddy's 3 minigame Chica's Party, which we'll go on to discuss in a second. Just like other Ryan did say there. Now, this could just mean that he as in Scott, is hinting towards that Chica is going to be mentioned, or at least part of the game somewhere, just like we had with the Bonnie puppet on Funtime Freddy's hand. Obviously, this is a hint, or at least a clue as to, or maybe just a mention that the other characters that we know and love, Chica and Bonnie, aren't completely forgotten about. They are going to be maybe referenced in this game, if they don't necessarily have an animatronic themselves. I think it's going to be a lot more significant than just that, but you never know with Scotty Boy. There are lots of secret things going on. But Chica's Party World, I think, is going to be very, very significant that it's Chica, and there are going to be more points on that later on.
Yep.
Yeah, I like the good point what Raz said, because we've got a Funtime Foxy and we've got a Funtime Freddy and the Bonnie puppet, and I saw a lot of complaints like, where's Chica? We want Chica in the game. And I think Scott's deliberately put it on the source code just to remind people that Chica is going to be in this game somehow. Whether it's going to be in mini-games, because we don't know whether mini-games are going to return in sister location, or it's going to be just like a prop or something around the location. But I like the idea of what other Ryan said about the themes of the bookings of the parties. So we could have like when we get more information, maybe like a Foxy themed party or a Freddy themed party, and not just Chica's Party World. So I'm looking forward to more information in the future.
Definitely. Well, for me, it actually does a totally different thing, which is linking the whole Afton Robotics into the bigger realm. And the way I see this is that a client directory, in terms of like computing, is like a reference to computer files. So what we have here is like a client directory 1 Chica's Party World. So this might be an event that took place. And the thing is, at the bottom it says it's a service log, excuse me. So after the 3 client directories, we have this Afton Robotics kind of sign-off potentially, which might, for me, reference the fact that whilst there is a Chica's Party World in FNAF 3, it closely entwines the fact that Afton Robotics also created the Chica, Freddy, Bonnie, Foxy from the previous establishments, which then even closer hints towards him actually being Purple Guy, and explains why inside of FNAF 2 he can actually close down the Freddy animatronic when he's walking around the halls.
Yeah, I think it's good that it ties it all together just like that, because as you said, it looks like these are in chronological order. Obviously, Chica's Party World came first, then it was the private day booking, then you've got the, where's the other one? The criminal instance or project.
Yeah, and it's weird. It's weird because these like pictures are saved as project as well, so it might be like bringing those in.
It doesn't make sense what that is, but it looks like the events have gone down, and whatever's happened after this third event, or maybe even the second event, has caused them to go into the maintenance. So maybe we're going to see these in some sort of chronological order as the nights go on, and maybe something has happened at this Chica's birthday party that forces them into the service maintenance.
Yes.
Yeah, another thing, if you wanted to link the Chica's Party World with the FNAF 3 minigame, the FNAF 3 minigame of Chica is Toy Chica. And I know a lot of people want to link the sister location with the these new animatronics with the toy animatronics, and people say there's a lot of similarities. So if that's true, then there's another hint to saying that like this Chica's Party World is about Toy Chica.
Yeah,
That's true. That's true.
That's a perfect place to move on to the second subject in today's video, which is going to be moving on to the FNAF 3 minigame at Chica's Party. As Dorko was saying just then, a lot of people have been connecting the Funtime animatronics to the toy animatronic era. Now, if we go back to the FNAF 3 minigame, Chica is in her Toy Chica version, as you can tell by the lovely pink pants that she has on. Now, the significance of this minigame here is obviously the name itself. We have got Chica's Party World in the source code, and the minigame itself is called Chica's World. So a lot of people have been putting these two together, and I think this is where the significance comes in with the sister location and tying FNAF 2 and sister location to the same era.
Yeah, because, like, I think still the FNAF 3 minigames are very unexplained. Like, some of them seem very random, and it seems like all they really do is work up to this good ending, which is interesting because, again, this is like a paradox with the bad ending and the good ending, so you can actually change the way things might have happened. So potentially this might lead along like another route of it could potentially be like canon, but along the events of FNAF 3, what happened is like a good ending or a bad ending. But it's going to be cool to know like what actually the mini games signify and what the whole deal with these are, because it does introduce individual animatronics amongst these. And a last thing as well, not a last thing, but another point I actually want to raise in relation to the client directory 2, which says about private birthday booking. And then we've got this like 50Al. And then after that it says children/ENT. In the actual Chica's Party minigame, there is like a glitch. There's 5 children in the establishment in total. There's 4 that are scattered around with the secret child as well, where you give cake to him. Or if you actually break underneath, there's also the 5, what are presumed to be dead crying children under there. And we've got this 50Al, 5 children. It might again be linking the 2 together further.
Yes.
Yep.
You can go, Dorko.
You go, Lewis.
Again, it's always with the 5 children hint. That could also represent the criminal institution hint as well in the source code about 5 children going missing.
Yes.
See, I was thinking pretty much the whole minigames in Five Nights at Freddy's 3 are linking directly to what we're seeing here. Like, for example, the Cheeky Party World birthday accessories, novelties. That could just be one example of like the accessories. For example, the Happiest Day minigame, where you see all these masks of the like colours that we've never seen before. Ooh. So like you've got a green mask, I think there's a pink mask in there or something like that. Characters we haven't seen before, so maybe he's trying to link the sister location in with that. Maybe they existed at the same time, obviously, but maybe they're well known together, kind of thing. The FNAF gang and this other gang, or whatever they may be, Baby and the gang.
Yeah.
Well, if you have a look at it, and even if it's a sister location and you got Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria at the time, they're all marketed under Fazbear Entertainment, so they're going to use the same sort of shipping and imports, so they're going to have the same sort of stock. So even if they do work hand in hand, then you could share the masks between the 2 establishments. Obviously, you'll have the novelty items, the accessories and stuff, but at the same time, this is where the meat and potatoes of the whole argument comes into place, is that you have got the 5 children in this Chica's Party. You're going around giving them cake. You obviously have to break through the game to go and find the 5th child. But if you break it further, as Ryan said, then this is when you get the dead, almost crying children there, and one follows you about. One child follows you about. So this could be the 4 murdered children, along with the fact that this 5th one following you around might be Golden Freddy. Because remember, he is separated, and you got to give him the cake in each one of the different minigames to get that good or good ending as he finally gets his birthday party, or her birthday party.
Yep.
This is the problem with FNAF 3. Because Scott can go 2 ways with this, like Ryan said. There's a good ending, and there's a bad ending. Now, whether this sister location game is set after FNAF 3, it would depend on whether Scott wants to say, oh, it was just the bad ending that was happened. The good ending doesn't exist at all. We don't save the children. They're still like ghosts around the place and still possessing items and stuff. But it all depends on when the sister location is set. But it wouldn't really matter on the mini games because the FNAF 3 mini-games aren't set 30 years after the location, I don't think, anyway. I think the mini-games are like years and years before, if that makes sense.
It's the events at the time, and that's why I think this mini game that we do see in FNAF 3 is going to be so significant. Why has Scott put in the source code for the sister location, Chica's Party World, when we've got Chica's Party minigame in FNAF 3, in which obviously something happens? You start off by going around giving cake to children, as you probably would have. You would have a toy Chica there, giving out her legendary cupcakes, all the children are happy, but something has happened. Why are there 5 dead creatures, or creatures? They're children. Why are there 5 dead children under the building? Something has happened in this minigame, and I think we might see the events of that transpire in sister location. I think this is why Scott has put Chica's Party World in the source code, as opposed to Funtime Freddy's Party World, Funtime Bonnie's, blah, blah, blah. That, I think, is the significance here. I think we are going to see what happened to these children from the FNAF 3 minigame in the sister location.
A point to make as well, the other FNAF 3 minigames have the 5 dead children as well. If you escape the minigame, there's always 5 dead children in the other ones, so...
and also, I was going to say in FNAF 2 as well, with the whole when the puppet was killed, like that there was like, well, there wasn't 5 children, there was 6 children, but that animatronic is doing the same thing that Chica is doing in Chica's Party World, giving out cakes to the children to make them happy, and then something happens. Yeah.
Okay, it is really interesting. I guess the only other way we can see this is Scott maybe, instead of choosing the bad or the good ending to be the way FNAF 3 ended, is maybe he just strictly wanted the game to have replay value, to the extent that when we beat the game originally, the bad ending is not the way events are supposed to go, and we were intended to get the good ending, which then again kind of backs up all the ideas about paranormal entity, animatronics having a conscience, being able to act on the thoughts of these children that have been punished, potentially, because they seem to be helping them out. And so if that's the case and we're in the future again, we're going to have to go from that storyline where that happened and the souls are free, and really just focus on what happened after.
I don't think the good endings happen, so.
Okay,
I made a theory ages ago saying you don't click on wall panels, you don't click on pictures and stuff to get a minigame to save kids. It's completely, it just seems set up, and I think Scott intended to do that. He's basically teasing us, saying, no, this good ending's fake, it's just all in your head.
Always bad sort of thing, you know. Children died, at the end of the day, it's bad. There's no good to a death of a child, So, throughout this talk, someone mentioned that CRMN actually might represent criminal institution. Is that correct? That's really interesting, because then it leads on to say project, and that might potentially mean that the murderer of these children is undergoing some kind of test facility, which is why everything is so clean. And it just sprang to mind, and it almost made me think, because when you save each picture, it saves as project. What about if this is like one big test towards like the purple guy testing like his sanity, and maybe that, I don't know, it's like giving him some karma. I don't understand how that would tie into a criminal justice system, but why would it all be nicknamed project? You know what I mean? It doesn't quite make sense. Like, why? It just, for me now, it seems like almost like a testing facility.
Oh wow, that would be extremely, the kind of like SCP containment breach kind of thing. That kind of that's really
you can think about Shutter Island as well. You know how he undergoes all this thing and it's all set up, almost like that.
That's freaking awesome to come to think about it, because like we obviously think he was saving the things as projects because it's a new project. He didn't know what to name it, but then afterwards he's still naming these things projects.
Yeah, so there's still a hint to this project thing.
Yeah, it's like a massive test. The guy that we're playing as is undergoing some kind of mental. Because we know Scott's to include some kind of like mental breakdown. Like FNAF 4, it's a kid experiencing hallucinations, nightmares, and all this. So that really wouldn't surprise me if he was going that route. That'd be amazing.
I mean, we've seen Pop Goes do a similar thing as well with the lore there. So it might, whilst it's not similar, you know, Pop Goes undergo. I won't spoil the lore for anyone, but it's very kind of similar and a bit winding on what you'll expect.
So are you suggesting that the purple guy is performing experiments?
Potentially, and that's why it's called a project. And it's still under the name Afton Robotics, so
and that would explain why this Enad character is in parts of everybody. Maybe this guy is experimenting, putting parts in this guy and other animatronics to get them working, or something something crazy, like a Frankenstein. Remember a Springtrap?
Yeah.
Everyone thought it was like a mixture of every animatronic.
Yeah.
Turned out it could be something like that for all we know.
Yeah.
Let me get this right. Are you trying to suggest that he is intentionally putting children into these things to create life after death, or was that just a happy accident and he's just experimenting with robots?
Potentially, well, I mean, it just says project, so we have no real basis for what's going on here. But it just seems to be like maybe the original project for maybe these animatronic suits having the life. Maybe he's testing these guys, giving them the life first, because it just seems really unusual why we'd be secluded on our own in this place. Granted, we're in some kind of storage facility, but it's also very clean, so it's almost like a test.
Unless he's gone completely insane and is now, after seeing what's happened in the facilities, maybe he's trying to replicate his results with his own... With his own animatronics to see if he can do it. Maybe that's a possibility. That would be dark as hell. Intentionally killing people and putting them inside of suits to see if his accident, which happened before, and these suits were given life, and he's intentionally trying to replicate the results because he's interested and he's gone a bit twisted. So he's run away from the location, set up as a new one, because this is obviously maybe his factory that he already had. He's sort of shut himself up, had these suits, and he's intentionally killing people to create more life. That would be horrifically monstrous.
See, this is what I was just thinking, because obviously we've had this theory that the purple guy is the technician, haven't we?
Yes.
Yeah. And therefore we know that the kids end up in the suits, and it's like he's trying to give these robots life, like you're trying to say. Who's to say that this appropriate location where they take these animatronics weren't for like rejected animatronics, and he has his way, kind of like a Frankenstein experiment, trying to make these things come to life, have like a mind of their own almost, something like that. And
that's why it's called project,
maybe.
Sort of thing.
And that's why Baby says, you don't know what we've been through, don't hold it against us, because they're not responsible for what he's doing to them.
Yeah, but hold on. Doesn't Purple Guy just kill the kids around the place and then the puppet puts them in the suits?
But he's a technician.
But
so
that's a metaphor.
What about if he's seen this like happen, and the fact that the suits can get possessed? You know how psychopaths always get intrigued with this sort of stuff. So it could be his project to bring life, and if we are in the future, which everyone is hinting towards, it could be like the new form of AI where it actually learns. You know what I mean?
It all depends on how you believe the lore works. Because obviously the puppet or the marionette has put the bodies into the suits, but he hasn't physically picked up a body. He's put the souls into the suits, right? That's my understanding of it, because he can't physically pick up a body, because the purple guy hid the bodies in the suits.
Yes.
So, for that to happen, how can the purple guy grab a soul? That's my only argument against it.
Which is why it's called Project. Which is why I think it's called Project, because he's testing.
I think it would be a really interesting way of analyzing it and creating a story. It would be a monstrous and horrible way of doing it. I just hope that it all adds up, if you know what I mean, if it goes that way. It would be interesting though, right? You're gonna have to bleep that.
Let's just think back to like when we first saw FNAF 3, and it was like that seemed like totally different to what the other two was until we got the mini games, and it kind of entwined it all there. So if that was to be a case, maybe we could see the downfall of the purple guy after things closed down. 30 years is a long time from killing kids, and he might have all these things encased in his head, but it's just an idea. It's what sparked that was the fact that it's still being named Project, so it just makes me feel like there's a bigger thing going on here underneath kind of what we're all seeing initially.
So another final theory is that a lot of people have been discussing the fact, will we see a Funtime Chica in the sister location? So what are your thoughts about that?
My thoughts, almost on the surface, is that we're most likely not going to. Maybe we'll see some kind of reference, like a picture on the wall, something like that. But in terms of actually seeing a Funtime Chica, I think it wouldn't really fit in too well. I think 5 animatronics for the way this thing seems to be laying out is probably enough. So I think we'll get references, most certainly, of Chica in the other, in like maybe some cutscenes or some Easter eggs, things like that. But other than that, I can't see her actually being a protagonist within the sister location.
I think we've kind of ruined it for ourselves anyway, because obviously the character roster was leaked, wasn't it? And what we saw on there was all the characters that are going to be in the sister location. So unless it works as some kind of Easter egg, maybe like the Shadow Bonnie and Shadow Freddy, something like that, where it just flashes, or you know, who knows?
Yep.
As you said, though, he would have copywritten the name Funtime Chica. So unless he knew, because he probably did know that the names were going to be leaked at some point, so he's going to copyright that name later on after he's created the design. So it will be a massive surprise if it pops up. But as you say, and if we go back to the source code once again, it says Chica's Party World, not Funtime Chica, or FT Chica's World, as it says there.
Yeah.
I think that would have been there. I don't think we'll see Chica in the game as an animatronic. I think we'll see her as the mini games. Yes. Otherwise, again, there's going to be too many animatronics roaming around the place, and unless you maybe unlock her as Toy Chica, a fresh version of her for some sort of crazy 2020 mode or whatever. I personally can't see her as a fully embodied coming to attack you animatronic.
Yeah, I don't see it as a animatronic either. It could be like where we do see it as a prop or something somewhere around the location, like a little figure or something, because Funtime Bonnie is not in the name description, but you see the little hand puppet of Bonnie. So Bonnie is still there technically, but we didn't know before the trailer. So it could be like a little prop or something, like a little figurine, like the magician man in The Office. You could see it as like just a little figurine somewhere around the location or something.
I think she's got to be in there somewhere, because obviously we've had the Chica's Party World reference, so whether it's just a poster of her or some sort of cardboard cutout in one of the rooms, that is Chica's Party World. That is the room you hire out for the Chica-themed party, because obviously you'd have a similar Pirate Cove sort of hiring out area, that kind of thing, but no full animatronic.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. So there we have it, guys. That went really, really in-depth, and we got a lot more information out of that than I thought for literally 4 lines of text within the source code. It just goes to show the power that a couple of words can have that Scott puts out towards us when we're theorizing it all. Hopefully, of course, you guys did enjoy this discussion as well, and thanks as well for the guys coming on again for another Theory Thursday episode.
If you guys did enjoy, want to leave a like rating down below, and if you're new to the channel, want to subscribe to all of us, as we do many indie games and many more theories, and yeah. That's about it.
Absolutely, guys. So thank you so much for watching this video. We, of course, hope you did enjoy. And we will, of course, all see you on the next one. Goodbye, guys.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Want to see even more content from us?
Consider liking and subscribing to ensure you'll see all content in the foreseeable future.
And hey, why not check out our past 2 videos?